Congress of the South African Trade Unions and the ANC Veterans League, commemorating the 70th anniversary of the formation of COSATU's predecessor, that's the South African Congress of Trade Unions. It was established back in 1955 and made a declaration at its first conference in 1956 that the fight for economic and political rights were inseparable. I can see Singisa Losi speaking at the corner of my eye. Let's listen in.
1955 also marks the 70 years anniversary of the Freedom Charter, the non-aligned movement, and our World Federation of Trade Unions that was formed in 1945, and clearly it was a very revolutionary year. As the current generations entrusted to lead your federation, the product and successor of SACTU, we can report that as a result of the decades of struggle, many of the progressive demands of the Freedom Charter have been won as a result of the 1994 democratic breakthrough that was led by the African National Congress and the South African Communist Party and COSATU. The Constitution enshrines the right to form trade unions and to collective bargaining. Today, we are reporting that our labor laws prohibit unfair discrimination and guarantee the right to equal pay for work of equal value and provide unemployment and workplace injury and diseases insurance, as well as paid maternity and parental leave. The Basic Conditions of Employment Act today sets the minimum and maximum working hours, overtime, and paid leave. In 2019, the national minimum wage came into effect, raising the wages of 6 million workers, including the most vulnerable, your domestic workers, your farm workers, including the taxi drivers. Child labor and the most brutal forms of exploitation are now declared as criminal offenses. These are the product of the struggles of Ray Alexander, of John Kadimeni, and countless others. They are the fruits of the battles that were waged, including the 1953 potato boycott and the 1973 Durban strike. Whilst we do celebrate these and many other hard-won victories, including the 65 billion rand that was released from the UIF to help 5.7 million workers during COVID-19, the two-part pension reforms, injecting 44 billion rands into the 2.2 million highly indebted workers' pockets, whilst it was also boosting the long-term savings. The passing of the National Health Insurance Act, laying a pathway for universal health care and tackling corruption in workers' pension funds, we cannot, though, be complacent when so many challenges remain. Program Director, 4 out of 10 South Africans and 7 out of 10 young people cannot find work. We remain the most unequal society with entrenched levels of poverty, crime, and corruption. Whilst government led by the ANC has done well since 1994 to shift 61% of the budget to invest in the working class communities, much is still to be done. We cannot be proud when our own comrades participated in and even facilitated state capture and corruption that continues to deny the poor the relief they need and the stimulus the economy requires. We must indeed, Chair, do more to rebuild the state and enable it to provide the public services that working class communities depend upon, to stimulate and to unlock the economic growth, to tackle unemployment, and to create decent work for all. The Freedom Charter eloquently captured a vision for a non-racial, non-sexist South Africa that belongs to all who live in it. SACTU, our predecessor, embodied that spirit. COSATU values the legacy, but we must be honest and admit that we have not sufficiently nurtured that vision. The hate speech rampant on social media, as well as the deep scars of special planning, of special apartheid geography, provide a mirror to how far we still have to travel. Similarly, Chair, we are pained by the traumatic levels of gender-based violence and other violence that millions of women, of girls, and the elderly and persons that are living with disability are subjected to on a daily basis. The generations of SACTU were marked by a call to unite the working class and heed the call of our founding president, Elijah Bahai, for one industry, one union, one country, one federation. We have come far, but we have also experienced painful setbacks. We would want to count upon the guidance of our veterans here as we seek to make this call to unite the trade union movement a lived reality. Equally, Chair, we will need your support to ensure that the alliance and its components are renewed, are cleansed, and they are reconfigured. Their mission remains as relevant as ever and can only be fulfilled if we are united and we are on the ground. Allow me, Program Director, to conclude by thanking all of you for making time today, but this, we must say again, must not be a once-off occasion, but rather another step forward in our collective journey. This year marks the 40th anniversary of COSATU. We are hoping that when we make that celebration of COSATU at 40, we shall have many more of yourselves as we celebrate the birth of a child that you gave birth to in 1985. Thank you very much, Program Director.
There will be 3 videos played. I hope they will not take long.
All right, so that is COSATU commemorating the 70th anniversary, that's right, of their predecessor, the South African Congress of Trade Unions, established in March of 1955. It comes at an interesting time. Of course, COSATU itself is turning 40 this year, but there's been so many interesting discussions around just the role that trade unions play in our democracy nowadays, the leverage or the lack thereof they have with government, and the extent to which they feel included as South Africa's political landscape continues to evolve. You saw several people you might have recognized in that room. It includes Ronnie Castro, former minister, veteran of course. Kgalema Motlanthe was in that room, and Snuki Zikalala, the president of the ANC Veterans League. So we'll continue listening into that, get your sense of what else is said.